So welcome back to Freedom in Hours. Andy here again. Great to have you back with us for another episode. Today's episode of Freedom in Hours, we're going to look at what are novice investment mistakes. You see, we spent a lot of time over the years learning our lessons from failed investments that we did. And now while we are successful investors, we made a lot of mistakes on the way. And at Freedom in Hours, we believe in giving you the tools so you don't have to make the same mistakes we did. You can actually learn the lessons from what we did. Now, in this novice investment mistakes, we'll look at things such as not having a great strategy, not having a plan in place, following the market versus being ahead of the market. And we'll go into all these a bit more detail so you guys can start to watch out what you need to do to be able to make money. You see, many years ago when I met John, my mentor, as we spoke about in previous videos, he said, Andrew, there are things you can do to be wealthy. There are steps you can take all the time. That's what Freedom Hours is built on. So anyway, we'll look at what are investment mistakes so you can actually know how to not lose money in the marketplace. Now, again, we really enjoy you watching our video. So make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also put in comments what you think about this and if you have actually made some of these mistakes yourself. Anyway, it's not to do any longer. Let's jump into it now at Freedom in Hours. Okay, so what do we believe is the first novice investment mistake people make? Well, the first one is not having a plan. You see, unless you have a plan in place, you're doomed to fail. And what do I mean by that? We think about if you want to head a destination, so you like a ship, for example, you want to sail out. If you don't have a plan, even if you're 1 degree off, you're going to end thousands of miles out from your destination. So you need to have a plan in place. Now, what would be a good plan? Well, first you need to look at exactly how much you want to be earning. You want to look over what time period. You then want to look at which investment areas will give you the return over that period of time. So, for example, you may be wanting to invest, say, get 9 to 10% income per year. Well, stocks have done that very well over the years. You may want to look at maybe getting a lot of money very, very quickly and look at more speculative funds. So there are different things you can do to be able to do that. And we'll do future videos about having a plan in the future. But number one, make sure you have a plan in place. The second way is thinking you can always beat the market. Now, a lot of people think that it's so easy to get ahead of the market. And the reality is the market's taught me a lot of lessons over the years. You see, back in the past, I thought I could dominate the marketplace. I thought I could just make risky investments and jump ahead. And the reality is it's not that easy. Now, unless you have a lot of investment knowledge, which I do now, or unless you have a bit of inside knowledge, it's very, very hard to consistently beat the marketplace. So if you're a novice investor, start by looking at where the market trends are. Look at what other people are doing in the marketplace and start to build on what they're doing as well. Very, very important. The third thing is not having enough knowledge. You see, it's very easy to be able to buy stocks. You can literally just jump online, create a share market account, and jump on and start making money. But it's actually very, very difficult to sit there and actually have enough knowledge to be able to make money. So the first thing you need to do is make sure that you learn all about the area you're going to invest in. So I wouldn't be jumping into a lot of different things all at once. I'd be thinking about where do you have an interest maybe? Where do you have a bit of knowledge? Or where do you have people that know what you're talking about? And then start to study that area. So let's take the example of property investment. Now you can go out there and literally just buy a property. In some cases you can buy a property 100% down. But unless you have knowledge in what are good properties are, what are good markets, what's an income, what's a good property loan, do you want to have a tenant, do you want to live in it yourself? It's very, very hard to be able to master the art of property. And I see so many examples of people going and buying units, for example, that are overpriced, not understanding body corporate, and losing a fortune. So you've got to make sure that you have enough knowledge in the area you have. So check the videos on here, Freedom in Hours. We've got lots of knowledge about investing, but also jump online, read books, go to seminars, learn from people that have made a lot of money. It's very, very important. The fourth area that we see novice investors making mistakes is gambling versus investing. You see, it's quite easy to get out there and throw some money into something, try and buy the next hot stock, for example. But it's very, very easy to lose the money. You see, we did a video in the past, why people gamble instead of investing. We spoke about a lot of things to do with people's dopamine rush, but how they get a thrill from chasing a ride, from thrill of chasing the money. And what people really need to do is they need to sit back and think about investing is actually an investment strategy. You see, it's very, very easy for us looking at, say, the crypto boom, for example, last couple of years, where people saw the price going up very, very quickly. They thought, yes, I can make money from here. They got their emotions involved. And I even talked about that video that I did about a young labourer that invested all his money into it. Been working for 10 years, invested $80,000 in crypto. Crypto crashed, basically lost it all. And he said, I thought it was a sure thing. Got excited by the thrill of the rush. That's not investing, guys. Investing is having a plan in place, having a strategy, following through, and being smart about it and making money over time. So be very, very careful that when you're investing, you're not gambling. And heard another story about people sitting there checking their apps all day to see how much money they made. Again, it's not investing. Have a plan in place, put your rules in place, and make money that way. So very, very important. The fifth way is thinking short-term versus long-term. You see, FreedomInHours, we believe in you can earn money each and every day, and little things you do each and every day make a big difference in your life. So as part of that, it's not a quick rich scheme. You can't sit there and just go and say, I'm going to go and make $1 million overnight with $10,000. You could try and make $1 million with $10,000, but you probably won't have your $10,000 anymore. And it's a valuable lesson I took back in the past when I used to take hot tips from my friends. I used to go out there and think, great, I'm going to go and make some money today. It's really going to work for me. But the reality is, there isn't any hot tips. It's investment knowledge, having a plan, having a strategy, learning a lesson, and really building a good amount of wealth from there. It's very, very important. So the sixth thing that novice investors do is they cut the wins and ride the losses. Well, what do I mean by that? We see, as human beings, we're conditioned to always believe that if something's going down, that it will stop suddenly. And we always fear loss than we do about creating a gain. So what that happens is when you're investing, if stocks are going up, very, very often you'll want to go and jump out before it gets too high. So you'll jump in, say it's going up by 10, 20, 30, 40%. You may jump up after it's doubled, but it could quadruple. But very often, if things are going down, you get very, very worried about it and hold on, hoping that you make your money back. You see, if you've got an investment strategy in place and you have rules in place about what you're doing, you won't worry about stocks going up or down because you have rules in place. You have rules when you're going to buy, you have rules when you're going to sell. And that stops you from having this emotion of having to hold and sell. So one big thing is, guys, make sure that you're not cutting your wins short. That to mean, of course, doesn't mean you have to write things to the top. For example, Bitcoin, when it went to $80,000 Australian, I was telling people to sell on the way because it was crazy. But that was because they had no underlying value. So very, very important to make sure you keep your gains, but don't ride your losses too down. So the seventh way is not having an investment strategy. You see, people just wake up one day, and I call it being hit in the head with a hammer. Bang! Oh, I'm going to be an investor one day. I'm going to go and buy some stocks. And they run out there and just buy stocks. They buy gold. They buy all kinds of crap without actually thinking about what is the strategy behind what you want to do. So when I say strategy, so it depends, could be depending on your stage of life. So if you're young, you may want a more aggressive investment strategy. If you're older, you may want a bit of more of a buy hold strategy. Younger guys, I said before, you could maybe invest in crypto, a small amount of money. But for people in the older years, definitely want to be doing that. So make sure you have a clear strategy and write it down. Here's my outcome that I want. Here's when I want it by. And here's the different areas that I can be investing in to do it. But very, very important to have a clear investment strategy in place. Now, what's the eighth area where novice investors fail? Well, the eighth area is trying to time the market. You see, novice investors believe that they have this unique ability to be able to time the market. So they turn on the news and it says real estate's booming. So they'll jump in and they'll buy it. So in the Australian property market, prices went up around 40% the last couple of years. Now, before that, prices have been going up steady, around 4 or 5% per year, and suddenly they rocketed up. So overnight, everyone thought they could jump in and make money from it. So we had this huge push into the market. So people thought they could time it. People thought they had this unique knowledge. Now, as a novice investor, you don't have a unique knowledge in the marketplace. You're just learning. Unless you've got some kind of, Rain Man kind of skills, you're learning like everyone else. So don't think that you can time the market. There is the investment cycle, which is very, very important, which is a cycle of low interest rates, property prices go up, stock prices go up, interest rates drop, interest rates go up, property prices drop, that kind of thing. So you can look at the investment timer, which we'll do a video about later, which kind of talks about how investments go towards an economic clock, which is very, very interesting. But unless you've done your research, unless you've done your knowledge, be very, very wary about timing investments. It's a very, very big mistake that novices get into. So the last area I want to talk about, which is the ninth area that novices fail in investing, is listening to the media or listening to friends or family. You see, I had a friend the other day that came to me and said, Andrew, I've got the next hot tip for you. Straight away, I was like, God, here we go. Another one. And sure, I was right. He said, give me the money, you'll double it overnight. And I went, okay, so can you give me the prospectus? Can you give me investment information? Obviously, he had no one. He knew another friend that doubled his money. He put in doubled his money. I mean, that's what he was excited about. And I said, look, if you're doubling your money in the short term, you're probably looking at a Ponzi scheme. You're probably looking at a pyramid scheme that everyone's going to get into. If you want to make good returns over a good period of time, again, it's investment knowledge. Understanding the market, doing your research, doing all those things which we spoke about earlier. But another big thing is the media. See, the media feeds us, and we've done other videos about this, feeds us a diet of crap, basically. They feed us all kinds of garbage that people actually listen to. So the media will tell you that now's the time to buy stocks, or now's the time to buy real estate, or they'll get so excited about cryptocurrencies. People get swept up in that as well, and they kind of lose the fact that, again, you've got to do your research, have a plan, know what you're doing, spend your time doing it. All these little things you do each and every day is what builds your financial knowledge, builds your financial intelligence, and gives you the ability to start to create a difference in your life. So again, switch off the news, switch off the social media, tell your friends, give me knowledge, give me information, but don't feed me a whole heap of crap. It's very, very important. Back when I was younger, before I met John, I got caught up in my friends giving me all this information. It was really bad. So there's some suggestions for you. Again, there's 9 things there that I just gave you that novice investors make as mistakes. I made them all myself, to be honest, over time. I lost a lot of money, but because I've had 10 years now of financial success, now I've been able to build a portfolio of property, investments, commercial real estate, gold. I've got a little bit of crypto as well. I've got businesses that create an income. I've done very, very well in my life. And guys, make sure you learn the lessons from what I've done here today about the 9 areas to do it. But I guess the most important thing is having a plan, having a strategy in place, and then doing research in that area to understand it, then understanding the area, then following through with the plan and setting your rules in place will set you on the right path. And you'll be ahead of 99% of other investors, because I can promise you most investors, as I call them, haven't done their research. And look at crypto, that's a perfect example of it. Anyway, I hope you've liked the video today. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also let me know what you thought of this video. Again, we're really trying to help people out there create the great life that they desire, and to not make the mistakes I did. Anyway, thanks for joining here at Freedom in Hours.